Congratulations. I rejoice with everyone on the start of a new year, year 2021. 2020 was a very harsh but remarkable year. With you all our partners in growth, we triumph over the hurdles that later all our paths. On behalf of the board, I say thank you to all our stakeholders that help us in attaining new heights. I particularly appreciate the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, a passionate, committed, and transformational leader. Thank you for the giant leaps we made, especially through Eco-Excel initiative. I equally thank our amiable and pleasant Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Kadri Hamzat, for his immense support for all the activities of the board. I thank the Honorable Commissioner of Education, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, for her remarkable leadership role in the sector. To the Executive Secretary, Dr. Hamid Boboyi, and management staff of UBEC, ministries, departments, and agencies in the state that partner with us to ensure the smooth running of the basic education sector, I say thank you. To our corporate friends who stood by us and the people of Lagos State despite the harsh economic realities, I express our heartfelt gratitude. I'm particularly pleased with all our private sector partners in the recently launched Project Zero initiative. I cannot forget our wonderful teachers and parents who ensure that our children continue to learn even when our schools were shut. My sincere appreciation to the entire management and staff of LASUBEB and the education family for their hard work and commitment all year round. Let us get back to work with a renewed energy. Together we can achieve more. I wish everyone a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2021. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe ni o.
Hello pupils, you are welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home, a program organized by the Lagos State Government and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB. It is to ensure that you are academically engaged in addition to what you're learning in school or while you are home. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and I have with me as usual your wonderful teachers.
Hello children, I am your mathematics teacher, Uncle Agbaje, but you know me as the mathematician.
Uncle Popo is here, your general studies teacher.
And we also have with us our favorite sign language interpreter, Uncle Niyi. Together,
we are bringing the classroom into your home.
Please stay tuned. Hello pupils, you are welcome to Auntie Fumi's class. In our English Studies lesson today, we will look at correct usage of pronouns. Yes, our focus today is correct usage of pronouns. But before we go into the lesson, let's have the correction to our previous homework. In our last lesson, we looked at the use of special prepositions. You were asked to complete the following sentences with correct prepositions. If you got the 5 correctly, then you deserve to be celebrated with a cheer. Good job, you. Now to the learning objective for today's lesson. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to define pronouns, identify the normative, possessive, and objective cases of pronouns, and you should also be able to use pronouns correctly. Are we ready? Your writing materials with you? Good. Then I know you're ready for today's lesson. On that note, let's begin. Many of us in casual conversations occasionally misuse pronouns when writing or speaking English. This is common. You often misuse pronouns when writing or speaking English. Pronouns are words used instead of nouns. I believe you know that. That is the definition of pronouns. They are words used instead of nouns. Examples of pronouns are he, she. Okay, I can see we are giving the examples together. Good job, you. He, she, it, they, we, and so on and so forth. Yes, I know you are conversant with examples of pronouns. Pronouns could be in 3 cases. Please note this. Pronouns could be in 3 cases. It could be nominative. And when we say nominative, it means I, you, he, she, it, and they. Those are examples of nominative pronouns. The second case is the possessive case. Possessive. An example of possessive pronouns are my, your, his, her, their. And the third case is the objective. Yes, objective case. That is when we have pronouns like me, him, her, us, them, and so on and so forth. So what we just said is that we have 3 pronoun cases: the nominative, the possessive, and the objective cases. Now let's look at the rules guiding the use of these pronouns. You use the nominative case when the pronoun is the subject. Please note this, children. You use the nominative case when the pronoun is the subject of the sentence, and remember the rule of manners. That is, always put the other person's name first. The rule of manner states that you should always put the other person's name first. That is when we are talking about the nominative case. Yeah, examples. When you have a sentence like, me and Henry will be late as usual. Don't forget the rule. We said you should put the other person's name first. That is the rule of manner. So instead of you to say, me and Henry will be late as usual, the correct thing for you to say is, Henry and I will be late as usual. You put the other person's name first. Henry and I will be late as usual. This is correct, while this is wrong. Are we together? Instead of you to say, I and you will watch the classroom in your home this evening, I and you will watch the classroom in your home this evening. It is correct for you to say, you and I will watch the classroom in your home this evening. You and I will watch the classroom in your home this evening. This is correct. I and you will watch the classroom in your home. Of course, you know it is wrong. It is incorrect for you to say that. Are we together? The second rule is that you should avoid agreement errors. Avoid agreement errors. Do not use singular subjects with plural pronouns. Let's take that again. Do not use singular subjects with plural pronouns. In most cases, you should use a singular pronoun if your sentence has a singular subject. Sometimes, however, you do not know the preferred gender of the subject of your sentence, or the subject identifies as neither male nor female. At times, you would not know the gender of your subject. So, you have to avoid agreement errors. In those cases when you are not sure of the gender of your subject, you might rework the sentence to eliminate the need for a singular pronoun. Or if that is not possible, or it results in awkward or unclear writing, you can use they, them, or their as a singular gender neutral pronoun. I want to take that again. In case you are not sure, or in cases when you are not sure of the gender of your subject, you might reword the sentence to eliminate the need for a singular pronoun. Or if that is not possible, you can use they, them, or their as a singular gender neutral pronoun. That means it will not depict the gender of the subject, whether it's a male or a female. Just use the general one. Use they, use them, use their. In the past, writers used is as a generic pronoun to include both male and female. This is no longer acceptable. In the past, writers use his, HIS, yes, as a generic pronoun to include both male and female, but this is no longer acceptable. So, when you have a sentence like every parent wants his child to succeed in school, when you have this kind of sentence, every child wants his child to succeed in school, this is not correct. What you should have is parents want their children to succeed in school, or all parents want their children to succeed in school. In this case, we don't take the use of is as a generic pronoun to include both male and female. Is no longer acceptable. Are we together? Now let's look at other examples. We have stated in a tabular form the incorrect examples of incorrect sentences and their correct versions. Look at the sentence, Deji is taller than me. Deji is taller than me. It is incorrect for you to say Deji is taller than me. What is correct is Deji is taller than I am. Deji is taller than I am. Him and me pass the test is another example of an incorrect use of pronoun. The correct use is he and I passed the test. He and I passed the test. So do not say him and me passed the test, but say he and I passed the test. He is as tall as me is another example of an incorrect use of pronoun. The correct form is he is as tall as I am. He is as tall as I am. Look at this example. He and me passed the test. Is it correct? Of course it is not correct. The correct sentence is he and I passed the test. Look at this one again. Let you and I do it. Let you and I do it. It is an incorrect use of pronoun. The correct form should be, or the correct form is, let you and me do it. Let you and me do it. Okay, so it's activity time. Today we've been able to look at the special use of pronouns, and we've been able to look at the three cases of pronoun. We have the nominative case, we have the possessive, and the objective pronoun case. So, and we have been able to give examples of the correct use of pronouns and the wrong use of pronoun and their correct versions. So it is time to test how attentive you have been in the course of this lesson. For your classwork, you are to pick out the correct pronoun to fill in the space. Just pick the correct answers. You have 20 seconds to pick just the answers, and your time starts now. Your pens down. Eyes on me. By now, you should have finished writing the correct pronouns. Now, let's do the correction together. Wow. Now, look at the answers. She is as clever as he is. She is as clever as he is. Did you get that? I trust you. Number 2. We told them an interesting story. We told them an interesting story. Yes. Number 3, we are richer than they are. We are richer than they are. Number 4, there is a table between you and me, not you and I. There is a table between you and me. And the last one, tell them to give us their pens. Tell them to give us their pens. Auntie Fumi got 5 out of 5. What about you? You got 5 too. Oh, brilliant kid. Oh, you got 2. There's no problem. There's still room for improvement. So, I still celebrate you with a cheer. Good job, you. Now to our assignment. The assignment, you are to fill in the blank spaces with the words, the options given to you. Yes. Make sure you do your assignment because it is the only thing that will guarantee you winning gifts from the Lagos State government. And when you're submitting your assignment, make sure you indicate your name, your school, your class, and your local government education authority. If you just do your assignment and you submit, there will be no way to identify you. So make sure you indicate all those and submit immediately. Yes, submit your assignment immediately. So let me give you just 10 seconds to capture this assignment, and now we'll be back to sign out. Yeah, by now you should have finished writing or capturing your assignments. So that's it for today. We have come to the end of another form-filled English Studies class. It's time for me to hand you over to the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje, for another beautifully packaged mathematics class. But before I go, I must remind you that Auntie Fumi is always proud of you. Bye.
Hello children, you're welcome to this edition of the classroom in your home. It is mathematics time, and that means it is time to have some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. Today in mathematics, we will be looking at something entirely new and different from what we have been studying previously. We'll be looking at what is called the volume of solids. Yes, when we talk about volume in mathematics, we are not talking about the loudness or otherwise of sound. We're talking about another thing entirely. But before we go into what volumes are, let us look at the correction to the previous homework. In the last class, you were asked to find the areas of these semicircles. And remember that semicircles are half of circles. So the area of a semicircle will be half the area of a full circle. Keeping that in mind, 2 goes there 1, 2 goes there 11 times. Then 7 can go in 105, 7 goes there 1, 7 goes there 1, remaining 3. 7 in 35 is 5. So now we have to multiply 11 by 15 by 105, ignoring the denominator because we have 1, 1, 1, 1, and that 1 is a trivial denominator. So when we multiply 11 by 15 by 105, 11 times 15 will give us 165. Then multiplying with 105, I'm sure you got 17,325. I wouldn't want to waste so much time. Of course, you are geniuses and you can multiply 3-digit numbers. So I believe this is the answer that you got. Let's see the next one. And I'm sure that you got this correctly. I got 2 out of 2. If you got all, good job you. If you got 1, you're on the right track, but I will still celebrate you with a chair. Now, moving on to that work on volume. By the end of the lesson, we should be able to appreciate the idea of what volumes are, especially with regards to solid shapes. We should also be able to calculate the volumes of cubes given the side length. And finally, we should be able to calculate the volumes of cuboids. When you talk about volume, you're talking about something solid. In the last couple of weeks, we have been talking about areas, and areas. And areas have to do with flat shapes or plane shapes. Okay, and with areas, we're interested in how many unit squares can cover the plane shape. But volume, it goes with regards to solid shapes. Okay, these are some solid shapes that you have here. You have this one that looks like a box, this one that looks like a drum, and that one, of course, is a golf, which golfers play. When we talk about volume, we are also talking about the amount of space that a solid shape takes up, not the amount of space that a plane shape takes up. And so, will we be calculating the amount of squares in the solid shape? No. With volumes, we will be interested in counting the number of unit cubes. Again, the number of unit cubes that can fill up the solid shape. And when you can count the number of unit cubes that can fill up the solid shapes, you get what we call the volume. Okay, so we measure the space covered by a solid shape by the amount of small unit cubes that you can put in there, just like we do for areas with unit squares. Square is a plane shape, so we use squares to find the areas of plane shapes. A cube is a solid shape, so we use cubes to find the volume rather, for solid shapes. And what you call a unit cube now will be a cube that has all the sides, the length, the breadth, the height, equal to 1 unit. And that 1 unit may be 1 centimeter, could be 2 centimeters, could be 1 centimeter or 1 meter or 1 feet or 1 inch, one of any unit. That gives you your unit cube. And so if you look at the diagram that I have here, there is a big cuboid, and to find the volume of this cuboid, we need to fill it up with unit cubes. But how many cubes can we find here right now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there is one underneath this long one. We make 6 at the bottom. Then 7, 8. So all the unit cubes that you have here is 8. But this cuboid has not been fully occupied, so we still have to fill it up with more unit cubes to find the actual volume. So we have not found the volume like this. This is just to demonstrate what unit cubes are, and now we can use them to find the volume of solid shapes. Okay, so here the volumes of these solids are 5 unit cubes and 6 unit cubes respectively. Then here you have a long cuboid, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unit cubes, and so the volume of this is 5 unit cubes. It's as simple as that. 5 unit cubes. How about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 unit cubes, so the volume of the whole thing is 6 unit cubes. But your guess is as good as mine. It is not all the time that you were given solid shapes like this to count unit cubes. No. And sometimes you may have a solid like that golf, the spherical one, or a cylinder. How will you now arrange the unit cubes in there? Well, that's the essence of the work that we are going to be doing today. So all this just provides you with the starting point. So let's begin by looking at how to find the volume of cubes and cuboids. This example says we should find the volume of this cuboid. Now again, this is another cuboid that has not been fully filled with unit cubes. But we have to be able to say how many unit cubes will fill it up. And so let's see. The first layer has 15 cubes. The bottom layer, there are 15 cubes there. And how did we get this? And that means that here you have 1, 2, 3 for this side, and then another 3, 6, 9, 12, and then the last layer will be 15. And so the first layer like this has 15 unit cubes, first level. All right. And since it's a unit cube, that means that from here to here is 1 unit. And from here to here, 3 units, because obviously there are 3 cubes here. So we have 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units. And that's why 3 units is written here as the length of this plate. Here we have 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 5 units. And that's why 5 units is written here. And obviously, we can get the number of cubes at the first layer just by multiplying 5 by 3. 5 units, 3 units. 5 times 3, 15. Because the bottom layer is a rectangle, we can just find 5 times 3 and we'll get the number of cubes at the bottom. But that's like the area of the bottom, right? Area of the rectangle, length times breadth, 5 times 3. Okay, so we get 15 units first layer. But how many layers are there? There will be 4 layers. We can already see 1 layer. Then this level is the second level, the second layer, third level, and the fourth layer will get to the top of the cuboid. All right, so now there are 4 layers, and obviously we have seen that there are 15 cubes at the bottom layer. Then there will be another layer for this. That's another 15, another 15, and another 15, and the whole cuboid will be filled with small unit cubes. So don't forget, our aim is to find the volume of this whole thing, but we have not filled it up, but we want to know how many it can contain. So it takes 15 at the first level, 15 at the second level, 15 at the third level, and 15 at the fourth level. And that's 15 in 4 places. So don't forget that we first got that 15 by multiplying 5 by 3, the area of the bottom. Then we build it up. 4 units means that there are 4 cubes along the height. And so that is 15 in 4 places, 15 times 4. And of course, that means that the volume of this will be 60 unit cubes. 60 unit cubes will fill up this. 15, first level, second level, 30, third level, 45, and fourth level, 60. So we first multiply 5 by 3 to get the bottom layer. Then how many layers? That's what the height represents. The height tells us how many layers. That's 4 layers, 15 times 4. And we get 15 times 4, 60. The volume of the cuboid will be 60 unit cubes. It's as simple as that. So let's see another example. Now this one, there are no unit cubes, okay? And yet we have to find the volume, and that means how many unit cubes will be there. And what that simply means by what we have here, 7 centimeters as the length, or the breadth as you call it, then 3 centimeters as the length, then 3 centimeters as the height. Now if I imagine that this is the top or the bottom, then how many unit cubes will be at the bottom? You know what? The best thing we can do for now is to draw the unit cubes. So let's see. The length, of course, is 3 centimeters. The breadth is 7 centimeters. And the height is 3 centimeters. But how many unit cubes? The volume of this cuboid again will be to find how many layers, how many cubes will be at the top or at the bottom, then how many layers. So this height is telling us that there are 3 layers because there are 3 centimeters, 3 layers. So we need to know how many will be at the bottom, then multiply by 3, or how many at the top and multiply by 3 downwards. So let's say, okay, so now we have the unit cubes. So here we have 3, the length 3, and then there are 7 this way. That is 3, 3, 3, 3. 3 times 7, that gives us 21. And that means that at the top or at the bottom of the cuboid, there are 21 cubes at the top. But how many levels are there? The first level, this one, let me take a pen here. Okay, so this first level, then there is a second level, and then there is a third level. And that's exactly what we mean by 3 centimeters. That means that there are 1 centimeter cubes, and there are 3 layers of 1 centimeter cubes. So first we have 21 on top, and we have 3 levels of 21, and that is 21 times 3. So let's see. The volume of the cuboid will be 3 times 7, which is 21, then times 3. So we got that 21 by multiplying the length times the breadth to know what is on top, how many is on top, then how many layers times the height. So the length, the breadth, the height. And we'll get the answer. 3 times 7 is 21, 21 times 3 is 63, and that means that there are 63 small cubic centimeters or centimeter cubes that make up the volume of this. So really, some of you must have been wondering, oh, it's very easy, I just multiply all the numbers. Yeah, you just multiply all the numbers, but make sure you multiply the right numbers, which is why I'm taking time to explain. Sometimes some numbers may just be put there to confuse you. You have to identify which one is the length and which one is the breadth, and that gives you the area of the top. For cuboids, you have to know how many cubes are occupying the top or the bottom, whichever one, then how many layers. So in this case, it is the length times the breadth to get the top, then height will give you how many layers. Length times breadth times height. It's as simple as that. Okay, just make sure you pick the right length, the right breadth, and the right height. Here is another one, and this one will have no unit cubes. If I take the top, that means that there are 4 cubes along the length and 5 along the breadth. 4 along the length, 5. So that's 4, you know what, let me just divide it. Okay, my hand is not so straight. Okay, I think that's better. 4. All right. Okay, not so straight, but let's just manage it. So that's 4, and then 5. write it here. Okay, okay, so if this is 5 and this is 4, how many will there be altogether? That is 5 times 4, and that means that at the very top we have 5 times 4, which is 20 at the top. But how many layers? There are 8 layers, so 20 at the top, then coming 8 layers downward. That is 20 times 8. So the top is, the volume now will be the area of the top, which is 5 times 4, then times the height. And so the volume is 4 times 5, which is 20, then times the height, because the area of the top is 4 times 5. 4 times 5. Then multiply by the number of layers, which is 8, that is times 20. The volume is 4 times 5, which is 20. 20 times 8, that is 160. And so the volume of this cube will be 160 centimeter cubes. And that means that there will be 160 small cubes that will fill up this whole box here. It's as simple as that. So take this, find the volumes of these. There is a cuboid and this is a cube. I'll give you just 1 minute for both of them. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you found it very easy. But of course it's very easy. All you had to do was multiply all the numbers together. So in the case of the first one, we have the area of the bottom or the top. And so to find the volume of this, let's begin from the bottom. There are 10 cubes along the length and 4 along the breadth. That means 10 in 4 places, and that is 10 times 4, that is 40. So there are 40 cubes along at the bottom. 40 cubes at the bottom. But how many layers are there? There are 7 layers, and that's why we have 7 centimeters along the height. So 10 times 4 is 40, 40 times 7, that should give us our final answer, which is 4 times 10, then by 7. And that should give us 280 centimeter cube. 4 times 10 is 40, or 4 times 7 is 28. Then 28 times 10 is 280 centimeter cubes. Is that what you got for that one? Excellent job. Let's see the next one. The volume here, we have 3 centimeters along the length, 3 centimeters along the breadth, and that will be 9 cubes at the top. But there are how many layers? There are 3 layers. So the volume will be length times the breadth times the height, which is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And that is 27 centimeter cubes. And that means that there will be 27 small cubes that will fill this box exactly. So when you are asked to find the volume of a solid shape, or you are asked to find how many cubes make up a solid shape, it's still one and the same thing. You have to find the volume. So the cuboid holds 27 centimeter. You have to take down this as your homework to practice with, and I'll be on hand in 30 seconds to sign out with you. Hello children, you are welcome to this segment of the mathematics class. Today is Thursday, and you know that we always have Thursday teasers. You know what, today I've decided not to go too far away from what we have learned. It's just for you to find the volume of a shape that I have for you. How many unit cubes are there in this structure? I'll give you 30 seconds to figure it out, and I'll be right back. Alrighty then. Were you able to count successfully? Well, I'm sure you discovered that some of the cubes are not showing, but there is a way we can make a guess as to how many is on the other side. Now, obviously, there are 3 layers, 1, 2, 3. So we need to know the number of cubes in the first layer, and then probably just multiply it by 3. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 in the first layer. Then that means that in the third layer there will be 6 as well, making 12. But the middle layer is not complete. It's missing 1 in front and it's missing 1 at the top. Okay? And so we have, instead of 6, we have 1 missing here, 1 missing on the second level as well, and 1 missing on the third level. It's actually missing 3. So in this middle layer, there are 3 instead of 6. I'll take that again. The middle layer is missing 1 at the top, missing 1 in the middle, and then missing 1 at the bottom. So there are 3 in the middle. So we have 6 plus 6 on the last end, which is 12, plus 3 in the middle, and that means that there are 15 unit cubes. I can see somebody saying, yay, got it. Yes, you got it right, my friend, and that means that you are very smart. All right, then we've come to the end of the mathematics lesson for today. It's time for me to hand you over to Uncle for the general studies lesson. Till I come your way in the next class, remain wonderful mathematicians. Bye-bye now.
Hello, pupils. You are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here.
I am also here.
Good. We are here together.
100% attention.
Excellent. 100% attention is what I want you to give me in today's lesson. Our subject for today is physical and health education. Physical and health education is the subject. In our last lesson, we talked about history of football. There you were told that in 1970, issuing of yellow and red cards was recorded. Today we want to move further to football officials and their duties. Football officials and their duties. I know most of you like watching football, so you are very familiar with some of the officials. So we shall discuss their duties in details today. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the unfit football match officials, and you should be able to state the duties of football officials. So let's go. Now, talking about football, I know when you see this set of people, you know that match wants to begin. So you see the referee, you see all that. So let's move on. The referee, assistant referees, fourth official, additional assistant referees, and reserve assistant referee are the on-field match officials. Who are the on-field match officials? The referee, assistant referees, fourth official, and additional assistant referee. So let's talk about those 4. Professional soccer games are run by 4 officials, usually dressed in black or some bright color. At times it could be bright or it could be black or bright color, designed not to clash with the jerseys of both teams. The officials we are talking about, they will wear the uniform that are quite different from the teams playing, so that it won't clash with those teams. Each has a separate but important function during the match, and they are all in constant communication with each other. The 4 officials we are talking about, they have separate but important function during the match, and they all in constant communication with each other. Now talking about the referee. The referee. That's one of the 4 officials of football match we want to talk about. The referee is the most important of the 4 officials on the pitch. Only he carries a whistle and he uses it to signal the start and stops of play. Now, when a football match wants to begin, referee is very important. He's the one to officiate the match, and he's the only one that have the whistle to blow it to start, or when he sees any foul play, is the one in charge. So referee is the most important. Now, talking about the referee and looking at all this is to tell you when or the appropriate time he blows whistle to stop the football or to point at any foul play. Maybe at times he blows for kickoff or to tell them it's half time, full time, goals, and fouls. That is when he blows whistle. Now, the referee can show the player yellow card and take his name. This is frequently known as a booking. When any player commits any foul, the referee may take his name down after giving the player a yellow card, and taking his name down, we call it booking. We call it what? Booking, because the referee writes the name down in a little book. That's why at times you see the referee with just one little and one pen, and at times he will ask the player to turn or check the player's number at the back so that he will book. So writing the player's number down in that book, that is what we know as booking. So next, so you see this is yellow card, and next a player who receives 2 yellow cards. How many yellow cards? 2 yellow cards in a game. If you have been given a yellow card before and given another one, 2 yellow cards in a game is sent off, and his team will have to continue with fewer players on the pitch. Besides the yellow card, the referee also carries a red card, which he can use to punish especially serious infractions. After giving that 2 yellow cards, the next is he will give red card to send the player out. So that's a kind of punishment for the player that have committed that. See, this is red card. Once red card is raised to any player, it means the player should leave the pitch immediately. The red card means an immediate dismissal. The referee also has the power to dismiss a manager from the sideline. I've said that once a player is shown a red card, that means is being asked to leave the pitch immediately. Let's talk about the linesmen that we regard to as assistant referees. They are the assistant referees. There are 2 linesmen in an officiating crew, each assigned to one half of the field. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is a linesman here. He has one half of the pitch that he is controlling, and the other will have the second half of the pitch that he is controlling. So they are 2. I think when he's throwing, they raise their flag up. Let's continue. We'll still talk about all this. As their name indicates, they patrol the length of the touch line between the halfway line and 1 goal line. They each carry a brightly colored flag and use it to signal when the ball has left pitch, either for a throw-in, a goal kick, or a corner kick. So that is when you see the referee raising the flag when the ball has left the pitch, either for a throw-in, when it crosses the sideline like that, so raise the flag up, that's throw-in, or for goal kick, No, at the goalpost edge, you want to kick the ball for goal kick or a corner kick. You see the linesman raising the flag. So you can see linesmen will also wave their flags to catch the referee's attention if they believe they have spotted a foul. At times, the referee might not say any foul play by any of the players. So if such is seen by the linesmen, he can raise his flag to give signal to the referee that he has seen or spotted a foul. And let's talk about the duties again. The duties of the assistant referees, the linesmen. The whole of the ball leaves the field of the play, and which team is entitled to a corner kick, goal kick, or throw-in. At times, the players, the two teams might be struggling to have or to own the throw-in. So it's the duty of the linesman to decide which side has that throw-in. So that's one of the duties. Or corner kick also. A player in an offside position may be penalized. So that's another work of the linesman. If a player is at the offside position, the linesman will raise the flag to give signal to tell the referee that is an such player is in an offside position. At times the player might have even scored the goal, but once the flag is raised, so the referee will communicate the linesman and will give feedback that such player that has scored is in an offside position, so the goal will not be counted. So that's another duty. A substitution is requested when you want to substitute, you want to change the player and another player wants to come in. So he raises the flag for that. So now let's talk about the fourth official. We've talked about the referee, we've talked about the assistant referee. So now to the fourth official. I know this is not very popular like the referee and the linesmen. So the fourth official now. The fourth official positioned on the touchline between the two opposing benches has three primary functions. That's three primary functions of fourth official. Let's look at those functions. First, it keeps track of all the stoppages during the game, and at the end of each half, it informs the players how much time will be added to make up. What we are saying, that's the fourth official is the person that will carry that time, additional time. Maybe they are given extra time. You see that will raise it. Maybe they will write 4 minutes, 3 minutes. So that's fourth official. I think you are now trying to get familiar with the fourth official. I will raise it up for everybody to see the minutes added to the stoppage time. Another one is he supervises the substitution procedure when another player wants to come in, changing and looking at the number. It will raise the number of the substituted player or the person that is coming up. So that's also one of the duties of fourth official. Checking a player's substitute's equipment, making sure all what he wears or the player wears is in line and is according to the procedure of the game. The re-entry of a player following a signal approval from the referee. When a player wants to be substituted, the referee will give signal and they communicate. So that's also one of the duties. The re-entry of a player following a signal or approval from the referee. So it's time for evaluation. I have two questions. Number one, in a football match, who does the booking of a player on the pitch of play? That's the first question. Second one, state any two duties of assistant referee. That's duties of linesman. State any two duties of assistant referee. You have just 30 seconds to do this. Eyes on me. Uncle Popo is here. So let's mark together. In a football match, who does the booking of a player on the pitch of play? That should be a bonus. That's the referee. Any two digits of assistant to referee, you all know their digits in what football match, but just two. They indicate when a player in an offside position may be penalized. And this player is in an offside position. They indicate when a substitution is requested. They indicate when a substitution is requested. So, and any of the duties that we have discussed today, you are also very much correct. That's it for today. Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
My wonderful pupils, we have come to the end of another exciting episode on the classroom in your home.
We hope that you have enjoyed yourselves and you've had fun, because we have really had lots of fun learning with you today. Now, all that you have learned in mathematics, English studies, or general studies lesson can be practiced using our catalog of tests, which we have put online for you. You can access these tests using the link bit.ly/LASUBEB tests. The link again is bit.ly/LASUBEB TESTS. Remember, practice, practice, practice leads to perfection.
Taking the online test is based on if you have access to either your daddy's, your mommy's, your uncle's, or your auntie's Android or smartphones. If not, there is no problem. Just send your questions, your comments, and your assignment to 081 50 86 5663. Please do not call that number. SMS and WhatsApp messages only. And when you're sending in your assignment, make sure you indicate your name,
Your school,
Your class,
and your local government education authority. That is the only way by which we can identify and reward you accordingly.
exciting and interesting lesson we had today, just like the previous ones. All these lessons are on Lagos Subeb YouTube channel for you to watch over and over again at your own preferred time. Subscribe to Lagos Subeb YouTube channel to get notification when new videos are uploaded. The classroom in your home could be watched live on Facebook, the same time airing on television through the page showing on the screen.
Until our next lesson, when we shall meet again on another beautifully packaged edition on the classroom in your home, make sure you do your homework.
Wash your hands regularly.
keep working hard, but above all,
Stay safe.
At LASUBEB,
We leave no child behind.